Hey guys, it's Trigger here with another deck profile. Finally we got a camera stand, so everything's going to be a little bit more professional looking. Alright, let's get started. This deck is a Oracle Think Tank Kagero mix deck. What I was thinking is just mixing both of their, basically their strengths and weaknesses together. Usually mixed decks don't work out because one clan needs to be the Vanguard while the other one needs to be the Vanguard as well, so they kind of clash, but this deck actually mixes really well because you really only need Amaterasu as your Vanguard most of the time. Overlord as your Vanguard won't hurt you much, but whenever you have the chance, I mean, there's so much drawing in this deck and so much cycling that you'll always have your Amaterasu ready. So the deck basically focuses on Amaterasu's skill, being a 14k beater, along with her ability to look at the top card of your deck, along with Overlord using those triggers wisely to plan out a carefully coordinated attack and use his effect with 3 counterblasts to basically knock out your opponent's rear guards. This deck also, it's really consistent and it's very aggressive as well. I run 4 high-speed Braki. Braki's a very amazing card. Basically, Soul Blast 1, he gains 5,000 power for that turn, so he becomes a 14k rear guard. Backed up by a AK beater, he'll be a 22, or backed up by an Airmo or a Coco, he'll be a 20,000, which is just ridiculous for a rear guard. Then we have our standardized 10k grade 2s, for Wiseman, just your normal 10k grade 2 for Oracle Think Tanks, and then you have your Nahalem, same thing, just for Kageros. Grade 1 lineup, we run 4 Coco. I run 4 Coco because I love her effect, and she doesn't hinder this deck at all because even though she's a 6k beater, my main power units such as Amaterasu, Overlord, and Braki will still be very high up, so it's not much of an issue worrying about that, while her ability to basically look at the top card of my deck, put it back or put it to the bottom is amazing. I can basically cycle through my deck to just find whatever I want, and set up triggers too. Setting up triggers is one of the most powerful things this deck can do because it's such aggressive with the Kagero mixed in it, where I have enough power to go off along with Braki's. So my plays are going to be organized but also aggressive. So getting those triggers played out just really works overall. Then we have 8 AK boosters basically, 4 Gemini and 4 Bar, pretty standard. And then we have 2 Airmo. I run 2 Airmo because I didn't want to drop Coco or any other. And Airmo, really, you can just attach it to anything and he'll cycle cards out, which is good because you run a high number of draw triggers in this game, in this deck, and he allows you to basically grab your power cards easier. Trigger-wise, we're running 4 heal, 6 draw and 6 critical. 4 heal, that's a standard-wise. I picked Lozenge Vangus to be my starting Vanguard because I do run 8 grade 1s rather than 6 grade 1s for the Conroe. And also it took up space. Also, Conroe isn't really satisfactory in this deck. I don't run any null guards, as you've already seen, because of the constant switch of Vanguards. It'll just be really inconsistent and a waste of deck, really. But I run more Oracle Think Tanks than I do Kagero, so I just decided to go with the Magus. Even then, if I lose heal trigger, it's fine. I have 3 other reusable triggers. And yeah, draw triggers. I run 2 Dream Eater, 2 Miracle Kid, and 2 Dragon Dancer Monica. The reason I run so many weird ratios is because, 1, I want to balance out the trigger count for each clan. I have all my critical triggers are all Kagero, whereas I have 2 more of my draw triggers being a Kagero. So essentially my trigger layout is 8 Kagero, 8 Oracle Think Tank, just to balance it out so it doesn't have any consistency issues. Also allows me to confuse my opponents just how I play. Running different kinds of draw triggers will always confuse your opponent because they'll think, oh, they have this one. Or, for example, they see Dream Eater. They think, okay, they're running draws. They see Miracle Kid. Automatically, they'll assume I'm running 8 draws. Then they see Monica, and they'll be like, what? So it does confuse my opponent to an extent during the first few rounds of the game. Later on, they'll start to catch on, but it's just good for a little surprise. And then critical triggers, I have 6. 2 Raksha and 4 Tar. I picked 4 Tar just because he's shiny. But the reason my layout is like this is because I wanted to have 8 criticals, but I didn't want to sacrifice a draw. And also playtesting the deck, I figured that I needed to do a lot of cycling through my deck, a lot of drawing, and I need to thin out a lot. It's not hard because you get to basically look at the top cards and everything. And you can always set up those draws perfectly. But draw trigger is basically the strongest trigger, simply because it always gives you a plus, no matter what. If you're being attacked, plus. If you're attacking, plus. Whereas, you know, critical triggers only works when you're attacked. Stand triggers, same way. I didn't want to draw the stand because this deck it's slow and consistent and aggressive, if that makes any sense. It doesn't focus on overly attacking your opponent or just, you know, sitting back and letting your opponent do this and that. It's basically just to calculate what's going to happen, you know, look at the top card, set up your plays accordingly and properly, and then boom, swinging for that push. So the deck, I feel, is overall it's very consistent. Just a basic layout of the units. You know, we only have a few special units in there. Everything else is pretty basic. But yeah, this is the deck profile. This is the deck I'm going to be using till a few weeks. Then set 2 is going to come out. I might still be running this deck, but I'm also going to show you guys a Steel Dragon deck, Blazing Flare deck, etc., etc. Also a Coco deck for those of you who want to see Oracle Think Tanks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and I'll put more content out today. And yeah, Fail Trigger out.